Hey, hey. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Hey, hey. Ba-dum, bum, bum. Hey, Blessing, Bathan. Hello from Toronto. Hello. Hello, Blessing. How are you? How's everything in Toronto? Is it snowing? Because it's snowing here in Boston right now. All right. So we're just waiting for more people to join in. It's 9:04 here in Boston. It's Saturday, actually it's Sunday evening, January 15, 2013. And if you are across the world, good morning or good afternoon, and welcome to Critical Beauty Salon. Okay. So I wanted to go live because I wanted to talk about the Miss Universe 2022 finals that took place in New Orleans last night. And as you know, it was a very much anticipated show because of the new ownership, and people were expecting a lot from the new owner in terms of production and in terms of the quality of the show. So I wanted to ask you guys, what did you think of the show? What did you think of the overall production, the choreography, the stage design, the lighting, the decorations, the entertainers, all that stuff. So please feel free to comment in the chat box because your opinion is precious. Okay, so, okay. Blessing says everything is good. And yes, a little bit of snow here. Looking forward to hear from you. Likewise, Blessing. We don't have a lot of snow right now. It's just a few dusting on the ground. But I think we're expecting 70% of snow tomorrow. So I think what we get here in Boston, I think you guys also get in Toronto. So let me see. Hopefully we are, because this is meant to be a group chat. This is one of the last minute live chats that I came up with because I couldn't wait for another day to go by without actually talking about Miss Universe last night. I had invited Hector to come in. I had invited Antonio, and I also invited Peter, but most of them cannot make it. But I think Antonio can make it. So, in fact, he's knocking on the door. Let's admit Antonio. He's coming in. There are 15 people watching. Hello, 15 people watching. Thank you for your support.
Hello, 15 people. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I have that background. I'm sorry for that.
What
Let
is
me try
that?
to take it out. This is my hometown. I mean, my home, Victoria. This is Canada.
Of course. It's a beautiful city.
Have you been here before?
I've been there a long time ago. I used to live in uh Eastern Washington.
Okay. So yeah.
And then I would travel to Seattle, and I would also go to Vancouver and Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria, because you're very close. Oh, that's great. Let me just try to look for.
Sure, change it.
Yeah, choose virtual background, choose video filter, choose avatar. Sorry for that, people. So yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's very cold. I was just telling our viewers that it's currently snowing in Boston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have about half an inch of snow on the ground. And then tomorrow we are expecting 70% of snow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
does it ever snow in Victoria?
it may maximum like 7 days per year. Like is like Victoria is considered the city with the best weather in Canada. So,
Really?
oh yeah,
Okay.
totally, totally. So we are lucky, very, very lucky, I have to say.
So it is a very green city. You guys are very conscious about the environment and all that stuff,
A hundred
right?
percent, 100%. Sorry for that. Yeah, I'm going later. I'm going for karaoke. But yeah, when you told me, I want to hear everybody's opinion. I want to give my opinion. I want to know your opinion. I know your opinion very well, but yeah, I want to know everybody what they think about the just recently Miss Universe pageant.
Well, speaking of karaoke, I've been watching your karaoke videos on your social media.
Oh yeah, I sing horrible, by the way.
With your friends,
I
and
know.
you do both Spanish and English,
And English, yeah,
which is
totally.
impressive, which is really very
I
impressive.
have to say, I sing very, very bad, but I don't care. That's karaoke for, right? For people who like me, who sings really, really bad. So
Oh yeah, well, join the group because when I sing for the people who cannot sing, basically.
exactly, because some
Yeah.
people think that karaoke is for oh, you sing bad, you should not sing. I'm like, no, honey, karaoke is for us, for the people who doesn't know how to sing.
I think I sound better when I sing in the shower.
No, for me, it depends on the kind. I don't know when I have public, it can kind of like get excited.
That's funny. All right. So more people are coming in, joining us. There are 35 people watching. Thank you so much for your support. 35 people. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon to get instant notifications for our next vlog, your next videos. It's interesting because, okay, how did you watch Miss Universe last night?
Okay, I
Where?
watched online. I mean, by YouTube, by the Miss Universe YouTube channel.
Okay, that's interesting
Yeah.
because I tried to do a live reaction
Hmm.
last night via YouTube, right? But it says when I went to that link, it says your country has been blocked to see this video. So it was not available in the United States.
Yes, I thought that the same was happening with Canada because
Yeah.
I had Roku TV. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I want to watch Roku TV, and I couldn't find anything on Roku TV. And then I apparently, because I didn't have access, I could go to
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. Well, I got a Roku stick about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so I had to play with it, how to maneuver because I really didn't know anything about Roku Channel. So an hour before the show, Hector sent me a instructions or a link. He told me, okay, just wait, go to the home screen of Roku Channel,
Yeah.
and a advertisement will pop up on the home screen showing the time and the place exactly. All right, fine. So that's exactly what I did. And lo and behold, it popped up, it showed. And when I clicked that icon, the show began. But you know what? I missed the first 2 minutes. Roku Channel, I think, was delayed or something, or there
Okay.
was some transmission problem. So I did not catch the beginning of the show.
So
And
did
go
you
ahead.
see when the girls were like coming down? They actually start with the public. That was really cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm waiting for Roku to upload the whole show so I can watch it all over again. But for the time being, I missed the first 2 minutes, which is just really bad. I think I started with Equatorial Guinea. I think she introduced herself, and that was the first girl that I saw
Oh, really?
when I turned on
Okay.
the show. Yeah. So it was really, really sad. Anyway, so okay. Blessing says that she saw the show on YouTube. Okay,
Yeah.
so one of our viewers, Blessing. She lives in Toronto,
Okay.
so the Canadians were able to watch it, but not the Americans. I don't know. I really don't know why, and I don't understand. And I think because of the new ownership, something about copyrights. I don't think Khun Anne, the new owner. Um, I think she did not provide the copyrights for American viewership, so that's why YouTube was blocked in America. And I think also network TV is sort of like dying. Nobody watches networks anymore, like the major networks like ABC, CBS, whatever, etc. Nobody watches them anymore. So everything, all these shows that you want to see, you have to go to a live stream channel like Roku.
Roku TV, exactly. That's exactly the same. With all North America, Canada is happening exactly the same.
Yeah.
Brian is hey. Brian, we love you so much.
That is the trend. Yes. Okay. So, hey, Brian. Okay. As you know, our good friend Brian Javier covered the pageant for 2 weeks. Okay. And I think he's on his way back to Las Vegas. So for the time being, he's watching us. So hello, Brian. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your hard work, for giving us amazing content. Without you and all the other fellow vloggers on the ground, none of us here outside New Orleans wouldn't be able to see what was going on. So we do appreciate your hard work. And please, people, if you haven't subscribed to Brian Javier's channel, please do so. He's an amazing guy. He's an amazing interviewer and also a good friend. So please do so now. Okay, so just again, reading some of the comments still. Oh yeah. Okay. So, Aldana says he was in New Orleans Moral Convention Center. Yeah, Aldwin, tell us about your experience, please. We would like to find out exactly what went on. Neil says in the Philippines we could not watch it on YouTube. You know what? That's exactly when I tried to do a live reaction from my YouTube from my iPhone. I was facing my iPhone with my TV in the background. Okay. And then I was able to do a live reaction, a live feed for about 10, 15 minutes. And then YouTube blocked me. It stopped transmitting my live reaction because of copyright issue.
Oh, copyright issue, I will assume, yeah.
You know what I mean? And all the music in the background. So, you know what? That's fine. Okay, I don't want to get another strike, for copyright because I want my channel to subsist. So I stopped doing that, and I ended up watching the show from my living room, in my big TV, and I was actually taping myself, my reactions and stuff and everything. Hopefully that reaction, I'm going to upload it pretty soon. So just be patient, please. All right. So yeah, we love you too, Brian. And have a safe flight, by the way, when you return back to Las Vegas. Fungi says, can't watch here in the US either. Yeah, that's true. Remember? We were talking about that. Frank Lau, thank you so much for your videos, Brian. Good job. Dr. Danny, YouTube live stream is also not working in India. So it wasn't working in India at all. Yeah, so which is really a shame, which is really, really a shame. Eugene Frias, hola desde Costa Rica. Soy un Filipino que vive en Costa Rica. Do you guys know when they will be having Miss Universe 2023 in San Salvador? This is exciting because it is so close to Costa Rica. Yes, I was surprised. Were you surprised when they announced El Salvador?
Totally, and that was the best, I think, surprise of the event. Like when the president announced that was crazy.
When he showed up on the screen, I thought, that's the president? I mean, how old is he? He's probably younger than you, Antonio.
I don't know. I think he's my age. I think he's around 36, 37. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But he looks so young, I know. And I heard he's doing a good job running the country. I
think he's the most popular president in Latin America.
Is he? Okay. All right. So I must have to start following social media. So yeah, I was equally surprised. So Eugene, to respond to your question, we don't know because that was the first time that we heard that information last night when the president of El Salvador announced it. And they were actually, remember last year, they were already talking about El Salvador being the host. Before El Salvador, they had considered Costa Rica, but that agreement, I think, fell off or something. It didn't go anywhere. So I think El Salvador placed a bid to host the country, and they got it. So if you guys, Antonio, are you going to El Salvador?
I may be. I was talking to some friends that we were watching the pageant together, and we're talking, let's go to El Salvador. But they announced it's going to be in December. Do you hear that?
It's in December. Yes. Christmas. So why not spending Christmas in El Salvador? I think Brian is going. He said.
Yeah, we should actually, guys, all of us, kind of plan that trip together. That would be wonderful.
I think we should. Maybe we should just rent a I don't know, Airbnb. It's cheap.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, everything's cheaper in El Salvador anyway. But the question is it safe?
I think it will be. It will be. If you go, you speak Spanish. If we go in a nice group, we will be fine.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right, that's good. That's good to know. Okay, just stay in the nice area, in the nice and safe area. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna go to El Salvador, but before that, we're going to Vietnam for Miss Grand International. Okay, in October.
Okay, perfect. I
Yeah.
want to go to Vietnam
So
too.
we're going to two pageants this year. That's good. Um, GRF says, what do you think about the future of Miss Universe? Initially, I had faith in Anne, JKN, but not anymore. She spreads misinformation every day and is grabbing all the attention of her. Okay, let's talk about the new owner, Khun Anne. Okay, I think that she's very comical in a way,
Yeah.
because she has a very big personality. What I mean by big personality is that she is very, very charismatic. She attracts different kinds of people, and she obviously loves attention. And I think when you are running an organization, or if you're running a company, I believe that it is important to present a specific image to the public on how you want your organization to be taken as. In this case, since we're talking about a very flamboyant, eccentric, trans woman, who, by the way, when she speaks, she still sounds like a man. So that to some people could be scary, or for lack of a better word, could be very disturbing. Because imagine, especially to the American viewers, or even to the Canadian viewers who do not know who she is, if you see her first, if you don't know what she sounds like, you see her face, she looks very feminine. She looks like a woman. But when she opens her mouth, then a man's voice comes out. Okay, yeah. Even though I heard that she has had her total sexual reassignment surgery completed, but she decided not to feminize her voice because she said that that's part of her personality. That's part of her character. Okay, fine. No, that's fine. No problem. But I think what as far as misinformation is concerned, she did post some misinformation. Do you remember one of them was she mentioned that she was going to bring back the special awards, like the Miss Photogenic, the best in national costume, which never happened. We still don't know who won the best in national costume, the best in swimsuit, and the best in evening gown. So, when you go back to the Trump era, those awards were very regularly distributed. So me, as an old school pageant fan, I wanted those special awards to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the point? Speaking of national costume, so what is really the point of bringing a national costume if you don't have an incentive?
Exactly.
To wear it? You know what I mean? So maybe the girls knew that there was not going to be a national costume award, so they did not bother bringing a lot of heavy, big props or heavy costumes. Did you notice that they had less humongous big costumes this year? So I thought it was very interesting. So maybe we don't know why there was no best in national costume. However, the Social Impact Award, which I think they started distributing this like 2 years ago in 2020, that Bolivia won, and last year was Chile, and this year was Thailand.
Yeah, the three, all of them club at the end. So
yeah, all three countries did not place. So you wonder if they value the Social Impact Award so much, you would figure that the girl who wins the award would automatically be included in the top 16 or in the top 20.
Exactly.
It's just like the Miss World Beauty with a Purpose. Yeah. No candidate in Miss World that has won the Beauty with a Purpose award has actually been crowned Miss World, right?
Yeah. Yes, but at least they are in the finals. Normally they're in the finals, but you're right. They haven't. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
So it's the same concept. So I really don't understand. I mean, I'm happy that Thailand won, and she does have a very interesting story, because, as you know, according to her bio, she came from a very poor background, and then her father is a garbage collector, and she collected actually her gown which I thought was beautiful,
Yes.
beautifully made, and very unique, consisted of can tabs, aluminum can tabs. And it reminded me almost of Zuleika Rivera's Miss Universe gown in
Yeah, a little bit.
2006.
Agreed.
A
Yeah.
little bit, right? The silhouette, the style, and everything. But I thought that was very unique. And if you and since they're emphasizing the concept of sustainability, what can be more sustainable than Miss Thailand's can tab dress? So that's good. So yeah, so this is something. This is an important award for Miss Universe, but I really wish that they had included, the Social Impact Award winner to the top 16, to the top 20 or something. Punji Funji, yeah, Sierra Burchell, Miss Universe Canada 2019. She was able to see the show in Canada. Yes, you Canadians are very lucky.
Yeah, Sierra was watching too. Yeah, I saw that.
You guys get everything. All right, so. What other misinformation did Khun Anne post?
Remember, like she said top 20.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She said it was top 20, and then she changed her mind, and it's top 16.
Top 16. And for me, that's not a good idea because it was 3 hours of the show, and easily they can place 20 girls. There was a lot of time waste, in my opinion.
Yes, there were a lot of like vacant space and stuff. I thought there was too much entertainment. There were like 5 entertainers.
Yes, too much.
Just too much.
Yeah, it's like it was kind of going now to what Miss War is about.
Yes.
That's something we don't like about Miss War. It's like, come on, we want to see more of the girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not only that, but also well, they had to give some airtime to Anne since she's the owner. So also I think they had a 2-minute, actually no, 3-minute tribute to Chesley Christ, Miss USA 2019. Her mother, April Tompkins, went on stage to pay a tribute to her daughter. I thought it was very touching. Also, the homage to, well, they interviewed a couple of former Miss USAs and a couple of former Miss Universe as well. So I thought that was a good touch. So it's nice to see former queens being invited to the show, and because a lot of fans these days who are millennials and Gen Z do not know of these former beauty queens, and the impact that they've had, during their reign. So that's good. That's good. Let me see. More power to the both of you. Thank you, Multidocs. Can we please tell the Philippines to stop claiming Arbani as one of them? USA won. Maybe they should give the Miss Universe Philippines back to Binibining Pilipinas. Good point.
Yeah, good point. They show more results. Yeah.
You see, I saw the funniest meme. Okay, the Philippines so far has had 4 Miss Universe crowns, but somebody created a meme of the 4 Miss Universe from the Philippines with half the face of Arbani, and they put 4.5 Miss Universe for
I saw that.
Did you see it?
Yes, because of the winner, because the new Miss Universe.
Yeah, because she's half Filipino, so they half is covered and half is like showing her face. I thought that was hilarious. Like 4.5. Wow. Oh my God. What are the chances of any pageant doing that? It's amazing. But I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. Okay. Well, Arbani was not born in the Philippines. Her father is Filipino, who migrated to the US when he was like in his 20s. He's now 85. But she always acknowledges her Filipino roots. And that's why she gained a lot of, attention from the Filipino community. So even though she represented the United States, she's very, very proud of obviously being Filipino. And whether or not Miss Universe Philippines should go back to Binibining Pilipinas, maybe, but you have to ask if Binibining Pilipinas is willing to hold a separate pageant altogether for Miss Universe Philippines, because that's exactly what Miss Universe wanted. They want a separate pageant for branding purposes. So I don't know if Binibining Pilipinas wants to do that, So
to be honest, I think that they should give more, more time, more chance to the new organization, because this is the first 3 years. So they, Philippines, how many years Philippines didn't place in Miss Universe? So. Yeah, they just need. I think that they need more time to show the people what they can do, and they are gonna do mistakes at the beginning, like everybody else.
Right. Exactly. Okay, we can talk about why the Philippines did not place. We can talk about that later. Charlie says, "Hi, Antonio, you're so guapo." Yeah, I think Antonio knows that. Antonio is the unofficial Mr. Critical Beauty. Okay. He is. Little Penny. Hi, Little Penny. It's been a while. Pia can speak fluent Filipino, but not German because she didn't grow up in Germany. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dr. Danny, Tito Rafa, this year Latinas and Caribbean ran over us. Hope Asia comes back next year. The top 5 was brutally strong. Okay, let's talk about why the 4 Southeast Asian countries did not make the cut: Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Yes. I was dead. I was shocked. I almost dropped.
Me too.
I was like, what is going on? You know, it's like I thought at least 2 of them would make the cut. And then when I heard Laos instead, I was like, what?
Yeah. But I think that everybody was so nervous. I remember when they were announcing number 12, I think. And then I was like, wait, no USA yet. I think that it was Thailand. I was counting. No Colombia, no USA, no Thailand, no Philippines, no Vietnam. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a huge surprise. And when they were only 1 girl missing, I was like, oh my, I was in shock. That was very nervous.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so when there were only 2 girls left to be called to the top 16, I was like, oh my God, where's Philippines? Where's Colombia? Where's Thailand? Where's Vietnam, etc.? You know, where are these powerhouse countries? And then the 15th girl was USA, and the last was Colombia. So to me, okay, that's it. I was like, what happened to the Philippines?
Yeah, but for me, I was like, what about the boats? I was like, who win the boats? Because I was expecting Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam because of the boats. And then I was like, Laos? My first reaction was maybe Laos win, but apparently she won. So
she won. Yeah, a lot of people were speculating. You know, I think Laos won, and Anne actually confirmed this when she was doing a live yesterday, because people were demanding questions. I mean, they were really very. How the hell did Laos win? I mean, it's a small country. It's not as big as Vietnam or Indonesia or the Philippines or Thailand. How in the world did Laos win? You know what? If people are so hungry for a crown or hungry for a placement, they will do anything in their power. And that includes spending their life savings just to buy votes. So for their girl to make the cut. And I think, you know, that was exactly what happened with Laos. Laos, of course, was not on my top list of favorites. I mean, she was under my radar. I didn't even put too much attention to her. Did you, Antonio? Did you?
I like Laos. She was in my radar. I love her evening gown performance. I really love it. Yeah, okay. But she wasn't in my top. Yeah, for sure, she was not in my top 16.
Okay, all right. So I think a lot of us did not have Laos on our list, but Vietnam. I really thought that Vietnam would win the votes. Now, Indonesia, of course. I think a lot of us did not have Indonesia on our list. I mean, I love Lakshmi. I think she's a great speaker. She's an amazing, advocate of her whatever her platform is. But I think she lacked spark on stage. Because Indonesia, when you compare the last 2 or 3 Indonesian contestants, Lakshmi is she's out of their league. You know,
100%. Yeah.
You know, I think the last stunning Indonesian girl they sent was Wulandari back in 2013. Mm-hmm. She made the top 16. She's a supermodel, and if they pick somebody who looked like her, like a supermodel, with all the other qualities of being a good speaker, having a good platform, etc., then Indonesia can win its first Miss Universe. But for the time being, they've been sending kind of mediocre, average contestants.
For me, my favorite Miss Indonesia was in 2016, the one that competed in the Philippines. I love her, and she was in the top 12.
Oh yeah, I remember her. She was tall
Of
too.
course, she was
Quite tall.
stunning. But I think, yeah, I don't know what happened because I wanted her to advance more in the
Mhm.
competition. But for me, she's my favorite so far.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Um, no, Thailand, of course, we know the story and why she didn't make it. And of course, when Thailand's name was not called to the top 16, I heard that a lot of Thai started attacking and bashing Anne on her social media. Calling her, a fraud. You betrayed Thailand. You're the new owner of Miss Universe. Well, how come you didn't help your own girl, etc. So all of these things, I mean, I kind of like feel bad for her now. I feel bad for Anne, really, to be honest, because but at the same time, she should realize that she's a public personality. She's a public figure, and she should expect all these criticisms coming, from right and left. So, but I think, I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing with Filipino fans, Filipinos who started attacking and criticizing the Miss Universe Philippines organization, saying things like, "Oh, because Celeste's preliminary gown was horrible. It didn't look very expensive. It was boring, etc." All these things. So, I mean, you can never satisfy everyone. You,
Exactly.
you just cannot satisfy everyone. And speaking about the Philippines not placing, one of the conspiracy theories, one of my favorite conspiracy theories that I heard, is that the reason why she and all the other Asian countries, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam, did not make the cut is because the fans from those countries are the most vicious bulliers. They bully other countries. Okay.
Yeah.
So they think, so maybe some people think it's karma. Karma has brought down these four Southeast Asian countries. So that's why they were totally eliminated from the top 16 placement. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe their performance during the preliminaries were just not as good as compared to the girls who advanced to the top 16.
Exactly. To be honest, something like I like about this, I mean, about what just happened is like you can see that actually wasn't such factor because they placed Thailand and the Philippines. That normally they're always there. It's because if the judges didn't pick them, so they have to place. Why they're gonna be. That's something I like. Why they have to make them in the top just because of business. That I really love that changed. So like, sorry, you don't get, if they were 16 years better than you will not make it. So I'm happy about that in a way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I feel bad for the Philippines for missing this year because since 2010, the Philippines has always placed, like for 12 straight years, it has always placed in Miss Universe until this year. Another theory that I like, well, that caught my eye was that they're saying that Celeste did not really represent the Filipino community at all because, again, I mean, I would like agree with these people because when I see Celeste speak, I don't see her as a Filipino. I see her as an Italian woman.
Oh, really?
I see her as an Italian woman because obviously she grew up in Italy and she's very fluent in Italian. And I think my intuition is telling me that maybe having been mostly an Italian woman, she has this Italian temperament because Italians could be very moody and temperamental. So maybe that's the reason why, and it's the same reason why Miss Italy, her roommate, did not make the cut as well. Even though they were hyped to death,
100%.
So I don't know. It's just my perspective. Okay, so all right. So I'm just reading some of the comments right here. Yeah, Brian, I agree. End of the year, it was a shock to everyone. So cool to see a president announce the hosting in El Salvador. GRSF in India, Miss Universe live stream on Voot app, VOOT for free. Oh, okay. I've never heard of Voot app before. I might have to check it out. It was the official partner of Miss Universe and also sponsors of Miss India and Miss Diva. Okay, that's good to know. Aldwin says it was great watching.
Okay.
watching it live because he went to New Orleans. The show didn't almost start on time because the people closer to the stage were on the aisle taking photos. Yeah, disorganization. That's one thing that I didn't like, the disorganization. Yes, many Thai fans walked out after the top 16 announcement.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think many Thais, but I think some Filipinos too. Some Filipinos too as well. But most of them stayed to cheer for Miss USA, who's half Filipino. So that's why they stayed. Okay, Little Penny says America used to do covered wars against El Salvador back in the 1990s. Tom Cruise did a movie about it a few years ago where he was a pilot. Oh, interesting. That's an interesting trivia. The best top 5 ever in 2018, says Brian. Yes, I totally agree. This year's top 5, impeccable. Impeccable. I could not even nitpick any flaw or any imperfection in any of these girls. I mean, they were all amazing. I don't even remember the last time we had a great top 5.
18. I think 18.
2018.
I thought
oh, okay, 2018. Okay.
Yeah, for me that's my favorite top 5. I think maybe of the history. I love all the 5 of them.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay, people are loving you. Okay, a moment to appreciate Antonio's beauty. Okay, guys. Okay, don't give Antonio a big ego. Okay.
I need it. Remember, like I'm separated. I'm looking for a new partner.
So by the way, Antonio is single. He's on the market.
I need it.
He's on the market. Yeah, somebody commented. What do you think of Catriona saying Dominican Republic was her favorite after the top 3 Q&A? Was she throwing shade at Miss USA? I don't know.
No, yes, I don't know. I mean, it's her opinion, like.
Yeah, it's her opinion. Everybody has their opinion. Actually, after the top 3 Q&A, my first choice immediately was USA. I thought she had the best answer, followed by Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. Because remember, I posted out online that my favorite was Venezuela. A lot of us, pageant analysts voted for Venezuela, but things happen for a reason. So, Little Penny says Talma from Portugal. Yes, let's talk about Miss Portugal. Okay, what do you guys think of Miss Portugal? She is beautiful.
Oh, I want her actually in the top 5. I want her so.
Me too.
Not just the face, she has an angel. I was so disappointed that she didn't make it in the top 5. She and South Africa. I have both 2 of them. I wanted in the top 5, but whatever. But yeah, she was beautiful, and I love to see Portugal in that top 16.
She was gorgeous. When she spoke, when she opened her mouth, and those beautiful dark eyes, it was amazing. And this is why I don't like the new format, top 16 and then top 5. They should have at least top 16 and second cut would be top 10. Yes, I think if there was a top 10, Portugal probably would have made the top 10.
Yes, I miss that 100%. That's something I miss it too. Yeah.
So people out there, let's all send an email to the Miss Universe organization for the next pageant in El Salvador. Let's bring back the old format. Actually, instead of top 16, let's do top 20 again. Top 20, top 10, top 5, top 3.
Top 3.
That would be the ideal format. All right. So because more and more countries are joining, more and more countries are being more competitive, and they all deserve, especially the countries that come from non-SASH factor countries, they also deserve equal representation and exposure on international stage. So guys, remember that. If you're coming from the Cayman Islands has not made a cut. Okay, Cayman Islands needs some good representation on stage. What about the Bahamas? What about Equatorial Guinea? Mm-hmm. What about Ghana? I mean, all these countries that do not come from countries that have a huge pageant industry, I think deserve some good representation. Of course, the contestant has to be competitive, of course. But that's my opinion. Yeah, Talma, Portugal should have made also the top 5. But in the end, it was a question of eliminating, the weak ones from and choosing the stronger ones. So I don't know. Also, beauty is subjective. So maybe some of the judges didn't like Portugal. Some liked it, but eventually she didn't make it. Brian says we should all rent a mansion in El Salvador when we go there. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think, Brian, you have a lot of connections. Didn't you make some rich, good friends?
Oh yes, Brian, please, you should
In
invite us.
NOLA?
You're
All right.
right.
I'm sure you have a little black book that you keep somewhere with all the contact information of all these important and very influential people. So, um, he also said New Orleans was not safe at all, so we can handle El Salvador. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Frank says Yolanda Adams serenading the top three with "I'm Every Woman" was the highlight of the pageant. You know what? I agree. All the other entertainers were boring. I'm not really into rap. I mean, there's some good rap music.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I didn't care. I mean, the jazz number in the beginning of the show, I thought that was cool. The what they call it? Oh, the Big Sam's Funky Nation group. I thought they were cool. When the girls start arriving on stage before they introduce themselves, I thought that was they sort of like paved the way for all this New Orleans atmosphere. So that's good. But Yolanda Adams, that song was great. And I thought, but this is not one of her big hits. Why is she singing a Whitney Houston song? That's not a Yolanda Adams song. Yolanda Adams is a gospel singer. Mm-hmm. She is a gospel singer. So anyway, I thought she did a great job. Venezuela is the real queen.
Wow.
She stood out from start to finish. Yes.
She was my favorite, but the judges picked Miss USA, period, people. Yeah. Unfortunately, I love it. I wanted Venezuela to win, but we have to accept what the judges vote. They vote for USA, period.
Right.
What we can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, it is. We cannot change the results. Okay. So we just have to respect the decision of the judges. Miss USA obviously gave the best answer. Miss Venezuela was close enough to win the crown, but they gave it to USA. So with our bunnies win, that gives USA the 9 Miss Universe crowns. If Venezuela had won, it would have tied with USA for 8 crowns. So USA still leads the number of crowns. Anne did a Prince Julio Cesar in her speech. Who is Julio Cesar? Who's Prince Julio Cesar?
Julio is not Venezuelan national director for Miss Earth?
I don't know. Oh, what does he look like? Oh, okay. Oh, I think he's also a flamboyant character. He's also a very eccentric character, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's a very eccentric character, yeah.
Okay. Attention grabbing. Okay, another now what? Miss Grand Universe. Okay, let's talk about the introductions. Did you guys notice that all the girls were screaming for the countries? It's like Miss Grand almost. The only thing was missing was Miss Universe before the country's name, like Miss Universe Albania. I think Miss Universe is heading that way. That was Miss Grand.
To be honest, I don't like that introduction. I think that the girls, I prefer the introduction, back in the Donald Trump area. That they with the voices of the girls screaming, but with the national costume, like 2008. I really like that one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anne is a better version of Nawat from that minor pageant MGI. Okay. Little Penny seems to not like MGI, so which is okay. Okay, but you know what? We're looking forward to MGI this October. I think it's going to be much grander than the show last year. And we're really expecting a lot of extravaganza compared to Miss Universe extravaganza, which was not an extravaganza at all, So, yeah. So just hold your judgment, Lil Penny. Hold your judgment. Miss Anne was literally screaming in semifinals, just like Miss Laos. Yes, she was. I saw those videos where she was jumping up and down, wearing her fur coat or whatever, and she was like screaming and stuff and everything. I thought it was great, but I was amazed too that she didn't really dominate the entire show, apart from her 5-minute speech on stage. That was it.
For me, that was too much.
You think 5 minutes is too much?
For me, she cannot say why she was supposed to say something. I don't know. I'm sorry, but or maybe maybe 1 minute maximum. But she was. I think at one point, Olivia Culpo have to tell her like, give us who wins, because like he was too blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't like that, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, her speech was all about again introducing herself as the new owner of Miss Universe. And then she said somewhere along the lines that for the first time in the history of the pageant, Miss Universe is owned by a woman, run by women, for women, etc. Okay, I mean, we get that. But it's, go ahead.
Rafa, I didn't like that. I remember we were watching with my friends, and I was like, but there's also gay guys, also heterosexual guys looking the pageant. So, I was feeling like, hey, I'm here too. I don't like when she say that very comment. I feel so excluded, to be honest.
Well, you know what? That's interesting you said that, because did you read Brian's message to our group, to our messenger group? That was one of his criticisms, because he didn't like that. Well, first of all, the majority of the audience were men. They were like literally 90% men was watching the show. But then you have here this trans woman on stage telling everybody that this pageant is run by women, for women, etc. So what about the men who support you? Why did you not acknowledge all the help and the assistance that you're getting from the men? I mean, first of all, the majority of the security staff are men. This big, hunky, frightening looking men that work for the security. The police, most of them are men. Okay. The handlers, the luggage handlers are men, etc. So you cannot alienate men, because especially since 90% of the people who were watching the show last night were men, So that's one thing that really, really bothers me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment below. Okay, Rusty Makabata says, Powerhouse Asia did not make it to the top 16. It's okay for the Philippines not making it, but for Thailand, it's a hurtful situation because the owner of Miss Universe is from Thailand. Yeah. Again, if there had been a top 20, maybe Thailand could have placed, maybe the Philippines could have placed. Apple 13 says Miss Universe looking for a strong leader with a purpose to become Miss Universe. Okay, as you know, the new taglines is transformational leadership. Like, what is transformational leadership? And also, first of all, how do you define transformational leadership? What constitutes a transformational leader? And I think many of these girls did not even take the time to render meaning or definition of the word of the transformational leader. But USA, the girls to be the top 5, they all knew exactly what being a transformational leader is all about. And our Bunny won because she used that tagline in her statement: transformational leader, and also force for good.
Yeah.
So, I think she did a good job by doing that, because it's all about branding. If you really want this job desperately, you have to know what the corporation is representing, what kind of brand this corporation is representing. So it's always a smart idea to incorporate all the taglines into your answers. Look what happened with Pia Wurtzbach in 2015. She used the tagline "confidently beautiful," and then she won.
But some girls in USA and Venezuela, I think they both say in the final questions transformative, I think, right? I remember that was like, okay, good. They did their homework.
Yeah, they did exactly their homework. Yeah. So obviously, I guess maybe the girls who were excluded maybe didn't have any notion of what a transformational leader is all about, or maybe the judges just were not convinced about their transformational stories.
But let's do something about that particularly, why they choose the semifinals. For example, I'm Canadian now. I was shocked that Miss Canada made it in the top 16. But did you see her bio? She's very young, and she has already have company. It's a very successful company. So I guess that's for them means a leader, a transformative leader, and that's why they place her. Period. I think that's the reason, because even she wasn't good communications. But she has an impressive resume, so she.
I thought she nailed the preliminaries. She was great in swimsuit. And
Canada, I wasn't fan with her.
You're impressed? Okay, I mean, she was.
Yeah.
Her evening gown was great. I love her costume, by the way. I love her costume. She was wearing a tutu and a ballet and stuff and everything. Yeah. So, but Canada was my original top 20 list, but she fell out of my list. And I really think I should have stuck with my instinct. I should have kept Canada. But for some reason, you know what I mean? Sometimes you doubt
Yeah.
doing the pageant. And I think that's one of the most challenging aspects of being a pageant analyst, or if you want to make accurate predictions, that you have always to trust your instinct. And
But
at this time, I did not trust my instinct. So I left Canada out.
But Rafa, it's funny. But remember, like I read the bio of the girls before they arrive. I read all the bios, and I remember that boom, Canada bio all was in the top of my head, and she was in my top because her bio was amazing. But
yes,
but it's the same happened with the judges. The judges read the bio before they already for sure have Canada in mind. Maybe she has a good interview, and they want to place her. Period.
Yeah, I think also the judges, before they even enter the judging, the interview room, I think they already had picked their winner, or I think their preferences, I believe.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I think, I mean, anybody can have access to the Miss Universe website app, just looking at the bios of the girls. I mean, I don't see, I've never heard of any rule that forbids a judge not to check out the bios.
No, but they gave the bios. I remember, like, even Paula Sugar, the night before the interviews, she posted a picture on the story telling, like, sleeping with the bio book, something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now that she was reading the bios of the girls, yeah.
Okay, all right. And maybe she was also sharing her opinions with the judges. You would think, which would be a no-no, because you cannot influence the judges.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
she was sitting there, right? I think that she
was in the same room. Yeah, she was in the same room as the judges.
Yeah, but who knows? Yeah.
Okay, so that was a good one. Yeah, Brian is going to El Salvador. Dr. Dana says. Miss Anne, this is Marv Garcia. Miss Anne made me uncomfortable when she was talking. She took up way too much time. Yeah, I think to a lot of people, when who didn't know Anne, and then that was the first time they heard her speak, I think they were disturbed. The fact that she sounded like a man.
Yeah.
It's not hurtful for Thailand, though. She was given an award from the owner. Well, I think a placement in top 16 is better than receiving an award. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aldwin says Miss USA first runner-up was at NOLA Moral Center, but was very low-key and wasn't wearing her Miss. Oh, you're talking about the new Miss USA, Morgan Romano from North Carolina, who is now the new Miss USA. Now that Albany won Miss Universe, her first runner-up, Morgan Romano from North Carolina, ascends to the throne. And hopefully Paula Sugart will arrange a coronation ceremony to crown Morgan Romano of North Carolina as Miss USA 2022. Okay, so she was very low-key. Okay, well, at least she went. Do you think, is Morgan Romano one of the Miss USA contestants who complained?
Yes, I don't think so. If you see her Instagram, she posts something to congratulate the winner when she won.
Okay.
And she pinned that, like to see everybody. I was congratulating her. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's good of her. I thought it was a very nice gesture. But what about Miss Montana, the leader?
Somebody was stating here that Miss Montana apparently do the private, the account. But Rafa, do you remember? That's something we need to talk. This year and 2012, when Olivia won Miss Universe, remember that those were the years that they were a huge scandal that apparently they already picked the winner. So it's kind of like makes you think like, why when this happens in Miss USA, the winner wins? Right. I don't know. It kind of makes you think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally agree. But I can just imagine Miss Montana's face when Albany was crowned Miss Universe. She's probably watching the show anyway, right? I think. So I can just imagine her expression in her face. And when you think of it, though, she and all the other girls, the fact that they, suspected the whole results of Miss USA 2022 and suspected that Albany helped in rigging the pageant because she was the favorite or something. Now, when you look at her being crowned, I think she pretty much got her vindication. Everybody now knows that she did not win Miss Universe because the pageant was rigged. She won fair and square, just like she won Miss USA. Okay. So the case is closed. So we're happy for North Carolina, Morgan Romano, becoming the new Miss USA. Miss Universe, Apple 13 says Miss Universe, no more class. What do you mean, no more class? Meaning it's lost its elegance, you mean? I think there's still a lot of elegant elements and sophisticated elements in the show that I really liked last night. I mean, the evening gown competition I think was fabulous. It was amazing. I think the stage, even though it's much smaller compared to the other previous stages, I thought it was proper for that number of contestants. Although I would have wanted a longer ramp, a walkway for the girls to do their longer catwalk. Yeah. But I like the design of the floors because it has floral patterns, and the setting, the stage background, the lighting. I thought it was great. They really enhanced New Orleans, the character and culture and spirit of New Orleans. So I love that.
You can see great. During the full show, okay, they are in New Orleans. So I enjoy that. That's how it's supposed to be. So.
Right, exactly. Neil says that sounded more like a consolation prize for those who did not place, if you ask me, talking about the Social Impact Award that was given to Thailand. Maybe Miss Thailand is very happy to receive her consolation prize. I mean, I think it's better to have something rather than not getting anything. You know what I mean? So that's good. Okay, Brian says, Danny, if people will help out, yes, going to Miss Universe is so expensive, and I've had to handle everything myself for 4 years now. Yeah, this is true. If you are a new vlogger, and if you want to create good content for your YouTube channel, it could get very expensive, especially if you're going to cover a pageant like Miss Universe, because if you expenses, meaning you have to pay for your hotel, for your airfare, food, and everything. That's why, if you really, really like and enjoy the content of a vlogger, then it's only logical to support them by subscribing or even donating in their super chats. Also liking and sharing and everything. Now, the way I see it is that ever since Miss Universe season started, I think I have like almost 300 new subscribers, which is amazing, by the way. Thank you to all my new subscribers out there. But when I checked my analytics, only 35% of the viewers are subscribers. The rest are not subscribers at all. So you wonder, okay, so when are you guys going to subscribe? Why the other 65%? What are you going to subscribe? So I think it's important to be able to support us vloggers who provide you guys content that you like, and the only thing we ask is a little donation here and there, sharing, comment, and like what you guys are doing now. So anybody who's commenting in tonight's show, I really appreciate you guys, because if the chat box is busy, YouTube algorithms, of course, pick it up, and then they recommend this channel, this vlog. So the more activity there is in your vlog, the more YouTube will pick it up and share it and recommend it with others. So thank you all to all the 188 people who are watching right now. Okay, so why only 2 on the panel?
Oh yeah,
what is that?
That you and me. Where's everybody else?
Okay, Little Penny. I don't know. I invited Hector. He said he's gonna be late. I invited Peter, but he's traveling. Brian, of course, is traveling. Noemi is traveling. Who else did I invite? Rocky can't make it either. So we don't know, because this is a last minute thing. Because I really couldn't wait another day or so, to talk about what I think of Miss Universe. So that's why I ended up doing this thing at the very last minute. Brian says top 16 to top 5 was made to have a clear top 5, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that may be true, but you know what? It's still. I think it's a good idea to have a second cut, like a top 16 to top 10. Only because, again, you're giving more exposure and to the girls on stage. Unlike, Miss Universe only happens like once a year, and when this is the only time for the girls to shine on stage. So I think the longer you provide them with airtime, I think the better.
And just to make a comment, I personally don't like when they announce the top 16, like this year, they do a video. No, I prefer.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Okay. You guys comment below. Do you think it's a good idea to always put a interview segment right after they announce each semifinalist, like what they did today, like what they did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I think they need to stop, because you know what? Because it cuts the suspense, the thrill. I wanted everything to be continuous and flowing. Like top 16 finalists is Puerto Rico, Colombia, Dominican Republic.
Agree. I prefer that, but not the videos either. I mean, so I would prefer that one even better. You're right. Like boom, this is the top 20. That's it. Done.
No more videos. And if people want to watch the videos, then send them to the Miss Universe website.
YouTube channel. Yes, I agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, send them to the bios page. I mean, that's what it's for. You have the resume, you have the videos of the girls, the photo gallery of the girls. Send all their viewers to that website, but not during the show, because it just drags on. It just drags on. If they eliminate that video part, the show would have cut down to another 30 minutes. So it's 2.5 hours, basically. It's not 3 hours.
More time for the 20 girls to compete in swimsuits. I'm not really. It's like
Exactly. MUO was very strict with time at New Orleans Convention Center. Audience had to leave right after the show. Yeah, I was watching a pageant. A Thai pageant fan was recording the post-pageant activities inside the theater, and he posted it up on YouTube. And then I saw all this chaos and all the security people like literally screaming at the top of their lungs, like, please leave now, please leave now, please. I mean, they're literally like shooing people away out of the theater. I thought, but this happens all the time because you're only, time is money. You guys have to remember, time is money. They're renting, Miss Universe is renting the convention center only up to a certain amount of time. So if they exceed, let's say if everybody has to be out by midnight, if you go over a minute, then they're going to charge you extra money for that. So you have to leave specifically at a certain time. So it's all about money. Miss Montana changed her Instagram to a private account. Yeah, we know that because she's been getting a lot of nasty messages.
For her, I feel bad.
Yeah. Although I think if Miss Montana wants to win everybody's love and affection back, I think she should be brave enough, she should be classy enough to congratulate Arbani on her social media. Don't you think? I think that would be a nice gesture. I really do.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah. So this is not okay, USA. Okay, yeah, USA is half Filipino. Yeah, we know that. By the way, Arbany is the second Texan woman to win Miss Universe. The first one was Chelsea Smith from 1995, born in where was she born? She was born in Texas, but she became Miss Texas USA and then went on to Miss USA and then Miss Universe. So Arbany is the second Texas woman to have triple crowns, 3 crowns. Most of USA's help, fans, and sponsors are the majority from the Philippines or Filipino Americans in the US. Yeah, I think Peter asked that. Did Miss USA receive any sponsorship from American sponsors, or did she receive most of them from Filipinos?
Maybe from Filipinos, yeah.
Well, I know one of her good friends is a makeup artist, and she's American. Anna Cantu, I believe. She does some of Arbany's makeup. And I think Arbany also got a lot of skincare and cosmetic sponsorships from Americans. But the majority of her wardrobe, I would think, are probably her costume is made by a Filipino. Her gowns are made by Filipino. She did her own cape. She designed her own cape. She designed her own interview outfit. But I think, yeah, she definitely received major sponsorship from the Filipino community.
I know she drove. I'm not sure people knows, but she drops, to New Orleans. So that was kind of nice of her too. I like that.
Yes. Okay. The Miss Universe 2023 delegates will be having a lot of pupusas. Christmas tamales in December. Será divertido. Yes. One of my friends. He already passed away. He was from El Salvador, and yeah, he and his mother would always make a lot of pupusas. So, de donde eres, Hector? Hector is from Puerto Rico. He's not here yet. But if you're referring to Antonio, Antonio is from Ecuador.
Yeah.
What do you think of your Ecuador girl? Your girl?
I love her. I mean, she made me excited, but the evening gown, I think that she lose points. Yeah, because she was a little bit lost. Not because she's stunning, but she was lost. So I think that, yeah, that cut her. So.
Okay. Well, why don't you reach out to the Miss Ecuador organization and maybe help them?
You don't know, but I talked to Miss Ecuador in New Orleans the one day before the interview.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave her some tips about the interview. Yeah, I told her what he has to do because the Miss Ecuador organization, what they're missing is strategy. It's funny. Some people they call I'm mixologies or whatever. I'm a strategy. Like I told her because I read all the how do you say that the bio of the girls. She was a nurse, and then I told her you have to tell that's your selling point. That you are a nurse. So yeah, she told me later that even they asked her, hey, tell me more about why she's a nurse. So yeah, so she did well. Unfortunately, she missed she didn't get well in the evening gown, but yeah. I'm happy for her.
Yeah, it is what it is. But hopefully one day Ecuador will return to the.
We hope, just to let you know, apparently, we're fingers crossed, one of the contestants for this year is Mara Topic, who was top 10 in Miss Grand in Venezuela. Apparently, she's going to compete. So we hope that.
Okay, let's cross our fingers. Cross our fingers. I was shocked. Blessing says, I was shocked if Miss Canada made it and Miss Lisa, but not Miss Philippines or Thailand. Who's Miss Lisa? Miss Laos, you mean? I thought she meant Miss Laos. Yeah. Canada and Laos made the list, but not Philippines or Thailand. Well, you know what? It is what it is, and it's destiny, fate, whatever you want to call it. There's really no point, I guess, in stressing about or asking questions about why this, why didn't this happen, etc. Fungi has a good point. It is like the other 11 was picked to make way for these 5 to advance. Interesting. The votes winner was initially Indonesia, but Miss Universe took away the fake accounts and changed to Colombia, who had more real accounts on social media. Really? Never heard of that.
I don't know. Just 1 second. I'm going to charge my phone. I will be back. 2 minutes.
Okay. Dr. Danny says, Philippines dropping energy in the prelims cost a lot. Vietnam deserves a spot. Indonesia was out of order. Thailand's evening gown performance was too much for Miss Universe. I guess intellectual skills. Yeah, exactly. Different year, different judges, different time. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And sometimes you wonder too, the fact that it's an all-women panel of judges made a lot of difference as well. If they had included at least 2 male judges, maybe the outcome would have been different. Because men have a different perspective on beauty. Well, of course, a gay man has a different perspective of beauty compared to a straight man's own concept of beauty. But then again, I think it would be great to have all these diverse opinions on beauty. So that's why it's so important to have a diverse panel of judges. Oh yeah, Little Penny. Australia was a surprise too. What do we think of Australia?
I love Australia. I think that she was my 17 or my 18 girl.
Okay. You know what? I never really paid attention to Australia until she actually walked that stage and the camera was zoomed on her beautiful face.
Her
hair, she was perfection. She was like flawless. Her body was to die for. Her turns, the way she did with the cape, it was amazing. She was brutal. Also, she also did very well on the gown, but she's a little tad short. I think they were looking for taller girls.
But she was amazing especially in the swimsuit, in preliminary swimsuit competition. Mm-hmm. And I remember that I saw her video after the interview, and she was so confident. And I was, she did very well in the interview, and yeah, I'm glad that she made it.
Yeah, we're happy for Australia. This is the second time since 2020 that Australia made it. We can never forget Maria Tatil. You know, she
Love her.
you know, she's adorable. She had full of charisma and personality. I think she was probably the shortest contestant from that year who also
I
made
think she was, yeah.
yeah. So again, you know, height is not necessarily might. So as long as you have the qualities you're looking for, you can be 5 feet tall and still place or win, you know. Indonesian pageant fans also sent death threats to Anne. Yeah, you know, the Filipinos are sending death threats, the Indonesians, the Thais, the Vietnamese, probably the Cambodians too.
I don't understand why really people, if you do that, like you really need to go to a psychologist, a therapy. Why you do that? Like, come on, it's just a beauty pageant. No, every year your girl is gonna place. Like, come on, don't don't bully.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? I think they've invested a lot, I think. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Antonio, what he said is right. It's only a beauty pageant. We should treat it as a form of entertainment. And also, how many of you will actually have the chance to get to know your queen one-on-one on a personal basis? Do you really think that your queen really cares about you? No. Does she really like, you know, pay attention to your personal issues and to your personal problems? No. You know, she's just a human being, you know, just like the rest of us. So why would you treat her differently apart from what she's actually doing to represent your country on international stage? You know, that's it. I mean, if you love her, that's fine. But just because she didn't place, that doesn't give you the right to bully others, or much less give death threats to the owner, you know. Yeah, I see in Asian countries literally tear down one another. Yeah, it's just too bad. People need to grow up. People really need to grow up. Rogelio Cervantes, hello Rogelio, says the 16 who were chosen seem to have different causes that are worth showcasing. This makes me think that it's not so much about the interviews and more about these video biographies. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, but well, you know what? It's okay. This is one thing that I wanted to tell everybody. Okay, all these pageants that are putting a lot of emphasis on social impact, on community contributions, and to causes and all that stuff, advocacies. You really do not need to join the Miss Universe pageant or any pageant to be able to be influential and to create social impact on your community, in your community, and your surroundings. No. And I think the impression that I'm getting from last night's show, with all these focus on women empowerment and traditional and transformational leadership, is that Miss Universe they seem to imply that you're not worthy of being a transformational leader unless you compete in Miss Universe. That's the impression that I'm getting.
Okay.
You know, I may be exaggerating, but that's the impression that I'm getting from Miss Universe. That they're emphasizing, I mean, you know, women empowerment, transformational leadership, forced to be good, all that stuff and everything. But at the same time, yet they're ignoring half of the world's population, which are men. Okay, so I think there's a lot of like discrepancy there. Celeste is Miss Italy. Yeah, I think so. Can we talk about Italy? What happened to Italy? Is this the same thing as happened to the Philippines? She was on everybody's list as well.
Yeah, no in my list, and I will tell you why. It's funny, even she has the same name. Her name is Virginia. I mean, Miss Italy is beautiful, but she reminds me a lot of Virginia Limonge, the Miss Ecuador 2018. You know, that she also didn't.
I know her, yeah.
Because I told you, I read all the bios. When I read Italy's bio, it was a model. She was just a model influencer. And you read before, you know, bios of girls that, hey, I did this, you know, whatever. And then you were like, okay, so you don't have, you know, like that was nothing impressive. So I think that the interview was the one that
killed her. Yeah, it killed her. I think she went to the wrong pageant.
Yeah, agree, 100%. Yeah. Maybe in Trump area, perfect, but these times,
but not this time, no, because everything has changed. And I think whoever handled her, you know, did not see. Well, I think wasn't she mentored by Miss Universe Italy 2020, Viviana Vizzini? I think Viviana was present when she was crowned.
Yeah, yes,
she was there, right? And then also that Venezuelan guy,
The
Carlos.
Venezuelan guy, I think that they train him. The one who his boyfriend competed in Mr. Supranational, right?
Yeah, Giuseppe Santagata, whom I interviewed. Yeah, lovely couple. You know, I think
I love them so much. Yes, I
yeah,
love
I
them.
love them so much. They're awesome. So Carlos and Giuseppe, you know, you guys are amazing, and you know, I think Miss Italy is gorgeous, is beautiful, but I think she lacked preparation. And when you're talking about how important social impact is, when you said in her bio she didn't have that so much social impact on her bio because most of her career was focused on modeling,
But that's why
and
I
not
told you,
on.
like every pageant organizer, they need to have a strategist. Really, like they play
Yeah,
like why they don't think like, oh, like let's what you have to promote yourself like more just on a model, but they didn't do that. I'm like, okay, so that's you see the results.
and this is why, and I've said this many times, many occasions, that if you are, let's say, a young girl who dreams of becoming a beauty queen someday, or if a young woman who wants to be Miss Universe or Miss World or whatever, make sure that you are already involved in some sort of advocacy or platform. You need to start very young.
Yeah.
You need to build up on your resume because you don't want to go to Miss Universe and not having anything significant on your bio, especially for the judges to read. If they see nothing but superficial stuff, like I did this, I was a model, I was a flight attendant, I did this, I went on the runway in Paris and Milan. I mean, they're not interested in that. There's no social impact whatsoever. Yeah. Okay, and also being a model does not really mean, does not speak of transformational leadership, because if you're a model, you're people above you are actually telling you what to do. A leader does not need that. A leader actually leads. A leader is someone who actually thinks in advance and strategizes and plans everything in advance. Okay, once that's done, then he can lead the others to follow him or her. That's what transformational leadership is all about. So just remember that, okay?
Be smart, strategy.
Yeah, it's all about strategy. Frank Lau, Celeste should not have been the girl to break the Philippines 12-year streak. Let's be honest. I can name 2 or 3 Miss Philippines that should have not been semifinalists. I can also name 3 to 4 Miss USA. You know what? Yeah, I think we agree. But you know what, Frank? Again, different year, different judges, different perspective. And also, there's also the question of luck. These girls that you didn't think should have been semifinalists, they were lucky to make the cut. So, Francis, Trinidad and Tobago. Let's talk about Trinidad and Tobago.
I love her.
TNT was a powerhouse in the 90s and early 2000s. So I was glad to see them back. Yes, I was glad to see TNT back. TNT was not on my list, but the more I saw of her during the prelims and her social media and how she interacted with her fans, I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this girl a chance. She was on my original top 20, but then again, because of doubt, I doubted her. I canceled her out. I decided not to include her in my top 16 list. So sorry to all my Trinidadian followers. Again, follow your instinct. And this time I did not trust my instinct at all. Curacao totally messed up. How so?
No, I mean her answer was the weakest of the top 5, but it wasn't bad either.
It was a safe answer. It was a safe answer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah. It was a safe something about what was the question? If you had a chance to meet the leader of your country, what would you talk to him about? Something. And she mentioned the importance of diversity, multiculturalism and all that. Well, Curacao is a very multicultural. And
for me, she say it. I don't know how to explain, but for me, she lose me when she start talking. I think that when I don't know, she kind of lose me in that moment. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, also her answer was kind of like safe. It didn't have any. Yeah. It didn't have a lot of impact. It wasn't very original.
But also, like, even though I wanted Miss Venezuela to win, in my opinion, I didn't like her first answer in top 5. I thought that she was, because She said that she was ashamed that she was going to be interior designer. I don't remember what she said. I remember all my friends that were watching the pageant, they were like,
she's a fashion designer, not an interior.
Yeah, it's like she did. That's not. I mean, that's not good answer. I remember like we were like, oh, like maybe she will not place, but then she did. But so I was happy for her. But her answer wasn't that good. The first one.
Do you think she should have answered in Spanish? Do you think?
No, I think she did well answering English.
Yeah. English, yeah. I thought so. I thought so too. But she pronounced the word dream, like I'm a maker of dreams.
Dreams, okay.
Dreams. I think that's one thing that a lot of Hispanic speakers have difficulty, like the long E versus the short E. Dreams. Derek says Celeste is half Filipino who did not grow up in the Philippines and who can barely speak English until recently. Sad word, she can't speak Tagalog. Yeah, you know what? When she was Scrum Mission Miss Philippines, I had my major reservations. I wasn't actually very happy to be honest when she won Miss Philippines, because I still consider her as an Italian girl. I do not consider her as a Filipino girl, only because she doesn't speak Filipino. Or maybe she does. Maybe she's learned a few words, but she doesn't come out across as a real Filipino woman, not like Catriona. Even though Catriona was born and raised in Australia, she learned the language, she picked up the culture, naturally and stuff. I didn't have the same impression with Celeste. Okay, moving on. Portugal was amazing. We agree. She stood out last night. Portugal was stepping when the P countries came out in the preliminaries. Portugal was also stepping on Philippines. She has more energy. Yeah, that's true. Portugal was a lot of energy.
Yeah.
She was amazing. Remember Portugal competed in Miss Earth 2018 when Celeste also competed. So I'm happy that Portugal placed in Miss Universe. Richard, our friend Richard. Hi, Richard. I invited Richard to be part of this group, but he said, I'm shy. He's not ready. He's not ready to talk to the world yet. And I told him, you're not a transformational leader.
Love it.
So you need to be a transformational leader, Richard. Richard is saying Venezuela had that aura of a Miss Universe. Yes, exactly. From the moment Amanda was crowned Miss Venezuela, I knew right there and then that she would be Miss Universe. Okay.
Yes, the aura, the winner aura. Yes, totally. Yeah.
The winning aura. And not only that, but she's always so bubbly. She's always very friendly. She always engages with her fans, and I think that's one thing that I miss. Like she had exactly the same aura as Catriona had. She stood out from the rest of the crowd, and she just commands attention. Every time she walks in the room, people look up to her. People look at her like, who is that gorgeous woman? That's the Miss Universe that I miss, that I'm used to. Miss Universe 2011, Lila Lopez was also there, and her beauty is ageless. Oh, yeah. Layla, didn't she said something negative about Miss Grand International. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, but Layla, you know what? Layla, interesting. I think Layla has been the national director for Angola for maybe 8 to 10 years now.
I don't think so. I think she was just new, no?
Oh, she was just new? Maybe 3-4 years?
I think this girl was the first one, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay. Because I had the impression that she's been there for a while. Okay, maybe I'm confusing with somebody else. Let me see. Can we talk about the short runway? Yeah, the runway was very, very short. The stage was not my favorite. The girls were congested. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, but did you see any girls like bumping or hitting each other on stage? I don't remember.
But to be honest, I know that it was very small, the stage, but they took advantage of it. I don't know how to explain, but they really see that the girls take their time. I really enjoy even with that small space, what they did. So kudos for them.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you think is Miss El Tocuyo? Miss Tocuyo. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, to those of you who don't know what Tocuyo or Miss Tocuyo award, Tocuyo refers, actually it's named after a town or a city in Venezuela. It refers to initially to a Venezuelan contestant in 2017. She was a heavy favorite. Not 2017, I'm sorry, 2016, when the pageant was held in the Philippines. She was a big favorite to win the crown. Her name was Mariam Habach, okay? But she did not place. So a pageant fan or whatever who started this designation, Miss Tocuyo, to be awarded to the Miss Universe contestant who was a heavy favorite, but ended up not placing at all. So in that case, we have the nominees for Miss Tocuyo 2022 are Philippines, Thailand.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Between the two of them,
That's
right?
it.
Yeah,
For
because
me,
they were hyped. They were hyped to death by their pageant fans.
it's funny. I'm going to tell you my opinion. If you guys are watching at us, tell me your opinion. I think that by the actually, it's supposed to be the most favorite that didn't place. I think that Miss Thailand was more favorite than Miss Philippines, in my opinion. However, it's more shocking the fact that Philippines didn't place in the top 16 after all these years. So just because of that technicality, I will give the prize to the Philippines because it's most shocking.
Right.
Most like, wow, Philippines is out. So
exactly. Yeah. You know what? Do you remember last year, Miss Tocuyo was Miss Spain?
Yeah.
Sara Loinaz. And she was so loved by her Filipino fans that they actually invited her to go to the Philippines.
Love that. Yeah.
And they presented her. She had a little sashing and crowning ceremony. I thought it was very beautifully done. And you know what? I hope they do the same thing with Celeste this time when she goes back. I know. She's probably hurting right now, and which is understandable because she was really expecting to place in the top 16. And I bet she probably cried backstage when her country's name was not called. So things happen, but I think eventually time heals all wounds, and she'll get over it, and hopefully accept the Miss Tocuyo award with a lot of honor and dignity. So yeah, it's a recognition nevertheless. Neil says, why exclude men from the selection committee? Are men's point of view no longer important in Miss Universe? You're right. It's no longer important, because if it is, then they would have at least one man. Okay. The last man that was part of the judging panel was in 2016. There was only one guy, and he was a gay guy. I agree with Antonio. Anne's speech was a little offensive to men supporting the show. Yeah, that's true. The statement excludes males and men 100%. Yep. I think a lot of them are still stuck with the confidently beautiful tagline. Yep. That's true. Happy to see Miss Canada make it. Yeah, I was very happy for Miss Canada too. I was very happy. More happy than Antonio. Look at Antonio.
No. I mean, I was happy for all the girls who placed, but I was a little bit in shock. But I was happy for her. Like, she's a lovely girl, and I was like, great, go, honey. But I was shocked that she placed. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I love Canada. I think she's a good speaker, and that's why she won Miss Universe Canada.
Yeah.
But you know what? The first runner-up in Miss Universe Canada last year, Madison Cavalton, who was sent to Miss International and placed the top 8, she needs to come back, compete in Miss Universe Canada, and I think she will win.
By the way, just to let you know, in my opinion, I hope this is going to be safe for the future. And then if that happens, you have to pause this again. I think that the Miss Universe for next edition is going to be Miss Peru, and it's going to be the second runner-up of the last Miss International pageant. I'm sure she's going to win Miss Universe. You will see.
You mean Miss Peru, the first runner-up last year?
The one that competes who placed third in Miss International. You will see. For me, she's going to win Miss Universe. Mark my words.
So wait a minute. So she will be appointed?
I'm sure she will. I'm 100% sure. Okay. Like in Peru, they're telling me that she's gonna do something. She's gonna, or maybe a contest, but she's gonna be the chosen one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cross our fingers. Okay. Go on Miss Peru. Okay. So Aldwin says they needed more ushers at NOLA Convention Center. There was still a huge crowd coming in for about 10 minutes after the opening number and contestant introduction. Yeah. I remember Paula Shugart. She said during the press conference after Albany was crowned that there was at least 500 crew members or staff members working for Miss Universe organization just to put on a good show. That's what she said. But how many people could that convention center hold? Like maybe 8,000, 10,000? Because I think all I saw was like a bunch of rows and rows of chairs. So I don't know what is the capacity crowd for that venue. I'm wondering what Miss Montana USA reacts to see Albany won last. I think we're also very curious to know how she reacted. She was probably happy. Who knows?
Yeah, she was like, whatever. Yeah, the past. Yeah.
Yeah, so. She was probably very happy. Where is the fan vote for top 16? What country they announced? Yeah, Laos. Laos won the fan vote, and Anne, the owner, she did a live video on her social media and she announced it that Laos won the fan vote because people were harassing her for some transparency. Canada was cute but not Miss Universe material. Laos and Australia were not cute for Miss Universe material. You know what? Again, I don't think they're going for the cuteness effect. I think they're actually looking again the whole package.
Whole package. It's always the whole package. Yeah.
It's all the whole. I think between Laos and Australia, I think Australia is prettier facial wise. Her face is much prettier than Laos. Yeah. But maybe Laos, her impact, her advocacy has more impact than Australia's. Canada has brains and she's very poised. They excluded Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam in order to stop the war among the fans of that countries. Yeah, that was one of the conspiracy theories that I read. So Anne eliminated those 4 countries as a punishment for their behavior on social media, for their ugly, horrible behavior on social media. So I don't know. Okay, so there was a red carpet affair. Morgan Romano, North Carolina, first runner-up, was the only runner-up who did not bash Albany or the Miss USA organization publicly, whereas the 3 other runners-up, Kansas, Illinois, and Ohio, did.
Oh, thank you. So smart move of her. She was thinking, like, oh, maybe she will win. I don't want,
Yeah, I mean, why would I? If I were the first runner-up, I would keep quiet.
I would be quiet because who knows? Yeah,
who knows? You never know. And now her wish got granted.
Now look,
so
smart.
Yeah, it's karma. That's right. North Carolina and Nebraska did not bash Albany when she won Miss USA. Okay, Miss Universe starting to become Miss Grand International 2.0. Not well. Apart from the yelling and screaming, I don't see Miss Universe heading that direction. No. I mean, maybe Miss Grand International will incorporate some of the Miss Universe elements. Who knows? Maybe. It lost the elegance in the mid-2000s. India made the cut. Let's talk about India. India was on my number 2 list. She was number 2 on my list. Okay. Originally, she was on the bottom of my list, and then she went up and up and up and up and up. And I think I'm one of the very few analysts who had India in the top 5. But I was so happy that India made the cut, and she was beautiful. She proved herself to be very strong and competitive. Although I didn't care much for her evening gown. Did you?
I mean, I didn't like that much. Kudos to her.
The prelim gown.
One of my friends who was watching the pageants from India, and he was like, I don't like this dress. And he said the same about the first dress of Hanas. He was like, that dress, no.
Oh, and Harnaz, when she did her final walk?
No, the first one, I think that she showed up with the traditional Indian dress.
Oh, the traditional dress, okay.
He's extremely fashionist. He was like, no, like no good dress from India. I'm like, oh,
wow. Donald Trump needs to come back. I don't think he's going to come back. No, I think he has other plans. Yeah, he's going to run for the American presidency again. Stephen Anderson. Hi, Stephen. Hello, Rafa and Antonio. Hi, Stephen. Thanks for watching. Tito Rafa, can we ban gold, silver, rhinestone, glitter gown from Miss Universe? Those girls look like they're going to a rhinestone. You know what? That's what I noticed. Did you notice that, Antonio? Most of the girls were wearing either silver, glittery, champagne colored gowns.
Agree. Even one of my friends told me that. Why everybody's using the same dress?
Yeah, nobody really stood out. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe. If South Africa,
That's why, like, I
her
remember
gown was the most. That was the one that stood out the most.
different. That's why my friend said, "Oh, that's why we thought that South Africa was supposed to be there, because she was the only different one." Yeah.
Exactly, and exactly, and again, you know what? I love South Africa. If there had been a top 10, she probably would have made the top 10 as well.
She was my number one, to be honest. I love her. I want her to
She
win.
was my number 2 on my original list. Venezuela, South Africa were my number 2.
For me, was
1
South
and
Africa,
2.
Venezuela. Oh, actually, I just realized I got the first one right.
That's great. So we all have different, choices and stuff. Miss Universe didn't even create real-time official content for the fans. Content mostly came from bloggers on site. I totally agree.
Yes.
Thank you, Gina, for pointing that out. Yeah.
You.
That's why it is so important for any pageant organization to acknowledge the importance of pageant vloggers, okay? Just because you don't agree with a pageant vlogger's opinion, that it's not a good approach to deny that pageant vlogger a press credential site. Wink, wink. So because it's all, you don't want to alienate the media, because first and foremost, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Every publicity is good.
Yes, totally.
You want people to talk about you, and the more people talk about you, the better. The more exposure that you get, and the more influence you get. So I don't understand why Miss Universe organization, denied press credentials to certain vloggers. One of them is me, and the other is Missology, I think. So it's not a good idea. So I feel, and also, by the way, Anne, I told you, right? Anne blocked me.
Yeah, why? I want to know that. You told me that. Why she blocked you?
Well, because apparently somebody reported some of my negative comments to her, and then, who is this Rafa from Critical Beauty? I don't want to see his posts, block.
Oh.
But she hasn't blocked me on Facebook.
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
Right?
Wow, I didn't know that. Good.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So that's an important point that you made, Gina. The Paloma says the organization should make an effort for the massive transmission of the show. In Latin America, Telemundo did not telecast the final. Really?
Oh, I think they did.
I thought they did.
I think they did. Yeah,
I think they did. I think because some of my Hispanic friends were telling me, well, if you can't get YouTube, go watch Telemundo. And I told them, I told them, well, I don't like the commentaries in Telemundo because they talk a lot.
They talk a lot. That me too. It's like, oh gosh, yeah.
It's just shut up, people. I just want to enjoy the show.
Exactly.
So that's why I changed to Roku. Gina says the other ladies in top 16 did not have a chance against well-trained candidates. Yeah, that's true. But then again, everybody's well-trained. I think a lot of these countries, especially the countries that come from non-SASH, actually step up to the plate.
Yeah.
I think they've been studying the success of the pageant powerhouses countries that have they imitated some of their successes, elements, and put them into their own training. So that's why, they made it, like Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and all the others and stuff, Laos. Rafa, good idea to make a live stream after Miss Universe. Don't wait another day because strike exactly. That's why I'm doing this right now. I don't want to wait another day not to talk about Miss Universe. You know what I mean? Because tomorrow there would be less interest for people to talk about Miss Universe. So Neil says a top 16 to a top 5 sounded more like the top 5 has been predetermined. You think? And it was through the interviews. The rest of the top 16 is just for airtime. Okay, well, maybe that's true. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because, there were judges there. I don't know. The judges will talk if that happens, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I still think like cutting from top 16 to top 5 is too harsh.
Too harsh. I agree.
Yeah, it's just too harsh. So that's why I prefer the old format, the top 16 or top 20 to top 10 and top 5 top 3, because there's more, because you're building a lot of suspense.
Even it's like when
way.
it's yay, it's gonna be like there's too suspense.
It's we want suspense, when we watch Miss Universe. Videos only for the top 10, says Stephen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can we go back to a 2-hour show? This show was filled with fillers like Miss World. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking it's funny. I told you I watched with 3 guys that never watched the Miss Universe, and they told me 3 hours is too much.
It's too much.
I was like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's 2 hours is enough. Yeah.
Can you imagine though if they had like 115 countries competing? Are they going to extend it to another hour, like 4 hours, like Miss World or whatever? It's impossible. So that's why, it can be from a logistics standpoint of view and time. It's just too expensive, especially if a major network is going to televise this, it will be very, very expensive. So that's why in the olden days, during network days, Miss Universe only lasted for 2 hours because it was very expensive to add another hour or so. So everything was compact back then. Neil says, do you people actually believe selection committees are always judging the swimsuits and long gowns? I think so. Yeah. I mean, they were instructed to do so. I don't know how exactly the girls were scored, maybe by points. Was it a point system? I
think that for the finals is a point system because it's so fast.
Oh, okay. So they were probably using a computer or something.
I think it's a computer. Yeah, like ADV score. So only for the finals. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bring back the 1990s format. Yeah, I miss the 1990s format as well.
Me too, 100%.
India, she's the interview queen. She had a decent performance, consistent since day one. Which other Asians miss? That's why I played in India's favor. Well, yeah. Again, India never fails in the interview and speaking segment of the competition. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they never fail. That's why I love, one of my favorite pageant queens are from India. Pete says the full top 16 competing in swimsuit and evening gown really takes away from the suspense. Yes. I totally agree.
I enjoyed watching all the girls, but at the same point was like, I miss that. Yeah, excitement, adrenaline. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let's start writing a petition, send emails to the Miss Universe organization, tell them to bring back the old format. That's exactly what we want. So if Anne, the new owner, considers herself as a open, transparent, tolerant person, then she will listen to the fans. Metal Maiden, my friend Sabrina from Singapore is watching. Hi, Sabrina. Love you. Paloma, the organization should make an effort for the massive Okay, we knew that about Telemundo. Somebody's asking about Miss World. Do we know when Miss World is going to be?
Well, it's supposed to be announced next week. Remember, did you read that message? Yeah, it's supposed to be announced next week. Where and when? So let's wait.
Okay. All right. So we don't know Miss World is going to be. Also, by the way, rumor has it that Miss World has a new owner. Not true.
Not true. Yeah.
Miss World does not have a new owner. Okay. Do not believe everything what you read on social media. You know why there's no new owner? Because the national director of Brazil, our good friend Enrique Fontes, told us this new owner, that this guy who claims to be the new owner could be probably just a sponsor.
Yeah.
From Nepal. Okay. So this the Morleys still own Miss World. We want all the girls' videos just like Miss World intro videos. Again, it adds too much time for the videos. If you want to see the videos, head on to the Miss Universe website and watch all the videos of the girls, or to the YouTube channel. El Salvador is hosting in December. Yep. If you are going to have a top 15, 16, have it for real. Montana has no class, so that congratulations to Albany will never happen. Oh, well, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's changed her heart. If she's really a true beauty queen, then she has to do something, that proves that she's actually beautiful inside as well. Paula Shugart may have replaced the top 16 scores with Miss Universe's choices based on her Miss Universe 2022 profile book posted on Instagram account. Okay, interesting. Regarding Miss Montana, could it be a race thing? No, I don't think so. Do you think Miss Montana is racist? No.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. There's lots of Filipinos living in Texas too, especially in Dallas. Yeah, Filipinos are everywhere. Okay, so they're
in Victoria, there's a lot of Filipinos. Yeah. Actually, they do too presently. Yeah.
Are there Filipinos in Victoria?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think, all the Filipinos who were disappointed that Philippines did not make the cut, they stayed to support Arbani.
Oh, interested.
Yep. Get rid of the capes for the next Miss Universe edition. Okay, can we talk about the capes?
I mean, I like the concept. I mean, of to have a capes. I love capes with girls, but that one, like the girl was supposed to paint it. That's no, I'm not a fan of that.
Okay, well, this is my take about the capes. I think I agree with you. I think it's a good concept. Okay, but they only literally had 2 seconds to spread the entire cape for the camera, and since there's a lot of some of the designs were really very busy and it's hard to read. Some of the letterings were very small. That's why I kind of prefer Miss USA's cape, because it was just basic, but it's huge. The lettering is huge, and you can see the message. You can see the message.
But you didn't read the message, Miss USA, because I remember, like, my friend told me, like, they announced the message, and my friend was like, I didn't read it because it was too fast.
Oh yeah, but during the preliminaries, she had it much longer.
Oh yeah.
It's only during the finals that she just dropped it, like after literally just 1 second. But she had the best cape ever, and the message was also the best. What do you guys think of the cape? Another cape that I really like, actually Venezuela's cape. I like, because her message was kids are not toys. This is about, stopping child abuse. I thought it was a very powerful and strong message. So I really like that. What else? Australia was in my top 15. She looked tall on stage. Cambodia looked the shortest on stage. Yeah, Cambodia's probably less than 5'4". I mean, she's beautiful. She looks like Megan. She looks like Megan Young, Miss World from the Philippines, 2013. I think she's beautiful, but again, I think she didn't have that much impact, I think, on stage. I guess we're back to the Trump days, where it's more about personality and question and answer. True. Well, if you're looking for a good spokesperson, you really have to judge everybody on these qualities. Like, personality is important. That's why they call it personality interviews, not just interviews, but personality interviews. So they were looking for strong women with great personalities. Is it true that Auntie Esther of MG and Uncle Nawat of MGI and Cousin Anne of MU, are they relatives? I don't know who you're talking about. No clue, John. I don't have any clue what you're talking about. The Q&A in top 5 was bad for all except US, Puerto Rico, and Venezuela. Huh.
No, I think that I prefer Dominican Republic answer than Venezuela. Yeah, I think that USA was the best answer in top 5. Then Dominican Republic, in my opinion.
Okay. I thought, the top 3, the final answer, the top 3, I thought Dominican Republic was again safe. And she also looked very, very serious. Yes. She was also very somber.
Exactly. That's why she was like, oh, she's the second runner up, because even she answered well, her facial expression was like, come on, woman, give me personality.
Yeah, at least a smile with your eyes, but her eyes were just as if she looked kind of rather devious, with that look. But when she's smiling, oh my God, she's stunning. She's gorgeous. She's like a living doll. Okay. So, but Venezuela, you couldn't miss Venezuela. I mean, she had the most, of the top 3, Venezuela had the most beautiful face, I think. What else? Miss Italy should know the difference between modeling and pageantry. There was no audience engagement in her performance. Yeah, I was disappointed with Italy's walk in the preliminaries. I thought she was going to be wearing a nice, beautiful, expensive designer gown. But the orange gown that she wore during the preliminaries, did you like it?
No, at all.
No, it wasn't. It didn't have any impact.
It was a dress, yeah. No
It was a
impact.
dress, yeah. And what about Chile's gown? She changed her gown.
I want to kill the Chile national director. Chile, they sent a gorgeous girl, very good communications, and they gave her that horrible.
It was ugly, like black gown with a collar, high collar neck.
Yes, I was like,
basically cut off her neck.
Okay. Yeah, I was
she looked much shorter, boxy. Her body like
I mean, I was like, why they do that to her? It's like, why? It's like they don't want to place. They always sabotage the girls for any reason.
It's just too bad. Really, I was really hoping for Chile to make the cut, but when I saw the horrible gown, ugh.
Yeah, me too. She was out of my top 20. She was kind of like, maybe she will make it, and then that evening, okay, she's out.
But on the good note, she and Malta won the Miss Congeniality Award. So those two countries shared Miss Congeniality this year. And I think that only happened twice, I believe, in the history of the pageant. So I know the first time it happened. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah. And I like that they were also interviewed backstage. John says they want a chance, Miss Universe. That's why they started with only women judged, but men are more investor. So I think what John is trying to say is that up front we put women, but behind stage, men will take care of the marketing, of the technical aspect, of the production quality and stuff. But the women take care of the actual performance, presentation, the show itself. But still, that doesn't give the right to exclude men from doing everything. Because if you're talking about inclusivity, everybody should be able to do everything at the same, all at once together. I was completely surprised that Sonia from Indonesia made the semifinals a few years ago. Well, I don't remember Sonia. Do you? I don't remember Sonia.
Sonia, I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe 2 years ago.
Miss Universe this year felt like a bad fever dream. Miss Venezuela. Okay, Miss Venezuela, everybody. Viva Miss Venezuela. Oh, two fashion designers battled for the crown. Let's talk about the fashion sense, the fashion aesthetics of both Venezuela and USA. Whose fashion aesthetics do you prefer?
Oh my gosh. I would say USA.
USA?
I think it was more impact. I remember still her dress in the preliminaries. That was wow. And I didn't like the dress in this one, but you remember. I don't know how to explain. So I would say USA.
Okay. Me too. Only because I thought her creations are more original and more elaborate.
Yes.
When I saw that green gown that Venezuela wore during the prelims, which she designed, by the way.
Oh.
I thought without those ugly ribbons on each arm, I think it would have been much better.
Yes.
I think. I like the cut, but those green ugly ribbons, I think, just make it look a costume, literally a costume, not a gown, but a costume.
It was too much.
It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But then again, she changed her gown during the finals. And I thought, okay, well, this is a decent gown. But then again, she had these two dangling sleeves, which I thought were very dramatic. I like the palette, the color palette that she chose, but there are like 3 or 4 different colors. And she really, really stood out. But compare her gown to Miss USA's gown, I thought Miss USA's gown is much better.
Yeah.
As you can see in my background right here. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. Designed by Filipino designer Ryan Hernandez, who, by the way, designed the gown that was worn by Miss Universe Canada 2018, Magdalene Stepin.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. You know what? I apologize. No. There was a story. There was a controversy about that. Do you remember Michael Cinco from 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was Michael Cinco that he said that they never... But that was 2020. No?
That was in 2020 with Nova Stevens.
Nova, yeah.
Yeah, with Nova Stevens. So what happened was that Michael Cinco and another Filipino designer, Ryan Fernandez, were helping out Canada.
Yeah.
Actually, Michael was in 2020 for Canada, and then Ryan Fernandez was helping Canada in 2018. Ryan said that Canada was supposed to wear his design, but she changed her gown to a Michael Cinco gown at the very last minute. And Ryan actually had brought 3 dresses for Canada that year to consider wearing, but she did not wear any of those 3. So he was disgusted. He was appalled. And he said that he never got any apology from the Miss Universe Canada organization. Yeah. So that was really, really bad. So again, people, okay, if you really want to be successful in this industry, if you want to compete, if you want people's attention and admiration, you really have to be courteous, polite, and just be civil and professional, And remember, designers work very hard to help you look good on stage. So if you don't, not a single word of thanks is horrible. It's just totally appalling. Okay. So you need to learn how to appreciate, how to acknowledge, not even if you didn't choose to wear a specific gown that was sponsored to you by the designer, at least wear the dress, take pictures, and post it on social media and give some exposure to the contestant. I mean, to the designer. That's a very easy task to do. Remember that. Okay, so where are we going? What are your thoughts? Hello, Rafa, first time here. Do you think it's better if they put back showing the scores for transparency? What do we think about putting back the scores on the TV screen?
I mean, you mean like for the finals?
For the finals.
I may like it for more transparency. Yeah, I may like it, I think. Yeah. I mean, how can I explain? I like the suspense. Okay, you know what? It would be great if they post the scores after the event. Maybe I will accept that.
Okay. Let me tell you, for a long time, Miss Universe used to post the scores during the telecast. Okay, with the name of the judge and the points that he or she gave each contestant. Apparently, what had happened was that some of these judges had received nasty messages from fans who were not happy with the scores that they gave the contestants. So the Miss Universe organization decided to eliminate that concept. They decided not to be transparent, not to put the scores anymore on TV screen. Now, when you think of it, social media, we're living in a social media era. Can you imagine the deluge of hate mails the judges will be receiving, will be getting?
Yeah, no way.
If the fans found out that such and such judge only gave Miss Indonesia 7.5 instead of a 10.00, can you imagine? So that's a good reason why they eliminated the scoring system. If you're going to score, that's fine. Do it behind closed doors, and that's why you have a professional accounting team. Is it Ernst & Young?
The one that I think was Ernst & Young. I think that they announced.
Okay. So that's why every year Miss Universe hires a professional accounting team. They have good reputation, Ernst & Young, to calculate all these scores. And because of a live telecast, of course, everything has to be done fast. But I don't think Ernst & Young has ever failed as an accounting agency. So that's why they keep getting invited to do all these calculations and stuff. So that's the reason why. Okay, because the judges' lives are in jeopardy if they post the scores, especially the low scores for each contestant, coming from a country where the fans tend to be very sensitive and rabid.
Sorry, Rafa, I have to go because I need to go to karaoke. I told you in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's right. So enjoy your karaoke.
Yes, I'm sorry, and thank you very much for inviting me. I hope if somebody else is gonna show up soon, hopefully Hector. To everybody here, thank you very much for having me. Love you. Bye bye.
Enjoy your karaoke. I'll watch your videos when you upload
I
this.
do. I will pause. I'm pretty sure. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let me continue reading some of these comments, some of your comments. Okay, well, what's Antonio's nationality? He's Ecuador. He's Ecuadorian. He's been living in Canada for several years now. He just recently became a Canadian citizen. So, and he is an amazing guy. So go follow him on social media. Antonio Rivadeneira. Little Penny says, I'm so surprised that Las Vegas hotels no longer wants Miss Universe in their premises, considering the venue is guaranteed sellout and most of the audience will stay in their hotel. Okay. You know what? I used to think that too. Las Vegas, I think back during the Trump era, Las Vegas was always the default host city. Let's say if one host country failed to keep their agreement, then they always revert back to Las Vegas as the default host city. And Las Vegas also has all the infrastructure to be able to host an event of this magnitude. And they did it before, like several times, like a dozen times. So let me see. Thank you guys for commenting in the comment section. I really appreciate that. Stephen, I did hear that Anne will take comments from fans into consideration. Well, you know what? I hope so. Let's all hope so. Let's all cross our fingers. Let's all cross our fingers. Tokuyo, Pete says, Tokuyo should be Thailand. As for performance, all week was way stronger. You know what? I would agree with you. I think Thailand, when you compare Thailand with the Philippines, I thought Thailand was more charismatic on stage. Her stage projection was flawless when I compared to Philippines. Like Celeste was like, I don't know. I had the impression that she was like almost losing her energy, I think. And also she didn't execute her national costume that well. I mean, she wore Darna, which is a Filipino heroine, comic hero in the Philippines. And I was expecting for her to do some Darna poses, like Superwoman poses, but she didn't do that at all. So she just like sort of like glided on stage and then exited the stage. Charlie says, in the Miss Universe era, we are seeing that candidates who are genuine with solid advocacies and with great bio will be on top of the game. Of course, technicals should be there too. I totally agree. Don't bash a pageant you're trying to win, says Stephen. Stephen, yes. Do not ever bash a pageant. Don't bash anything, period. And I think one thing that is so important is that before you actually join a pageant, try studying the pageant, its system, its missions, its goals, because not every pageant has a different goal, has a different mission. Obviously, they're also looking for a different type of spokesperson or winner. Just because you didn't make it in one pageant, that doesn't mean that you're not going to compete in another pageant. Remember, joining a pageant for a lot of these young women is part of their personal development process. Okay, so they can join as many pageants as they can, just to prove to themselves that they can evolve into better individuals. So take advantage of every pageant available in your community, be it a minor pageant, a third-rate pageant. Just get all the experience that you need and work your way gradually to the top. Charlie says, in this Miss Universe era, we're seeing that candidates who are genuine with solid advocacies and with great bio will be at the top of the game. Of course, yeah, that's true. Yeah, poor Edix Navarro says, yeah, Harnaz. Did you guys notice Harnaz's final walk? She almost tripped. And I thought, I mean, she cried. She got very emotional. And then when she was reaching the end of the step of the stairs, she nearly tripped. And luckily, she was able to regain her composure. But what an undignified moment, especially if you're doing your final walk as Miss Universe, and then she almost tripped. I think a lot of people are going to be remembering that rather than the fact that she was a former Miss Universe. And I don't know, did you guys like her dress? I didn't like her dress. I didn't like that big, humongous ribbon tied behind her back. Like, what was that about? It really actually made her behind even bigger. Like, I really wish she should have stuck with the beautiful dark blue dress that she wore when she was co-hosting the preliminaries. Do you guys see that? It was a dark royal blue dress, and it really, really fit her current figure perfectly. And she was well made up. She has this beautiful makeup, beautiful big hair. She actually looked like Miss Universe. So I really wish she should have stuck with the same color and the same style when she gave up her crown. Okay, India. Da, 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 da. Stephen Celeste may have an Italy sash if she wants to compete again. Well, you know what? Rules are rules. According to Miss Universe rules, a young woman can only compete on Miss Universe stage just once. Just once. So even if she decides to go back to Italy and competes in Miss Italy Universe and wins, she can't compete on international stage because you can only compete in Miss Universe stage just once. So maybe she'll go to Italy or join Miss World Italy, or maybe stays in the Philippines and joins another pageant, maybe Miss Grand International, next year. So we'll see. South Africa was a no for me in the semifinals list, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about Bahrain. Bahrain is half Filipino. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought she was half Russian. That's what I heard from social media. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can we stop saying who is and who is not Miss Universe material? It wasn't because they were punishing the fans. It's because they didn't place. Yeah, correct. 100% totally agree. Pete, totally agree. Like, what does that even mean anymore? What is she's not Miss Universe material. She's not Miss World material. She's not Miss International material. What does that even mean? Because all these pageants are actually borrowing each other's elements and qualities. So it's hard to say. It's almost impossible to say, oh, well, she's better fit in Miss Universe. Oh, she's better fit in Miss Earth, because they're all similar these days. The only thing that's different is the title, the names, but they all have the same purpose. They all are looking for a specific girl that represents their branding and the values and the missions and stuff. Okay. All right. Okay, so you guys are writing all these wonderful notes. Thank you so much to Tito Rafa. Do you think Miss Montana would make a great title holder because she's a strong, outspoken woman, leadership quality? Yeah, she would make an excellent leader if she focus entirely on positive strategy or on positive goals in her life. Yeah, and of course, anybody can be a transformational leadership, but it all boils down to intentionality. What are your intentions? Do you have bad intentions or good intentions? Remember, there are also a lot of bad transformational leaders in this world. Okay, so you always have to choose which path you go to, and whatever path you choose, that determines your life. The judges focus on the credentials, beauty, and purpose of the candidate. Yep, that's true. Okay, so tell me, people, are you happy with the results? Do you agree that the selection committee or the judges chose the right winner? Do you agree that do you agree in the placement? Do you agree that Puerto Rico or either Curacao should have made the top three? Which country would you have taken out from the top three and replaced it with something else? So there's a lot of ups and downs in this contest. There's a lot of disappointments. There's also a lot of surprises. And to those countries that made the cut and who were not on anybody's list, I congratulate them wholeheartedly, because you can tell that their representatives worked extra hard to really deserve to make the top 16. Okay, so hopefully to Filipino fans out there who were heavily disappointed with Celeste not placing this year, do not take it to heart. But every journey is a learning experience. And like what Catriona said, there's always next year. So again, I hope that the Miss Universe Philippines organization will be able to find somebody as competitive or as amazing or as strong and as transformational as Catriona. You know, they can always replicate Catriona's feat because we all love Catriona. So I think she is an inspiration to many young women out there, not just to Filipino women, but to all young women out there who love her and admire her. And she truly is a transformational leadership. So you already have Catriona as a model to follow. Okay, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. This group chat because it's getting late here, and I need to get up early in the morning. So thank you again for watching the show. Thank you for supporting this channel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Click the subscribe button and also click the bell icon below to get instant notification. Earlier today, I did actually last night, I did a reaction video, and I meant to upload it last night, but I was just too tired because I needed some sleep. So I tried to upload it on YouTube this morning, but it got stuck because I had to fix some of the copyright issues. But once that's cleared, I'm going to post it and I'm going to share it with you guys so you can actually see me react during the actual telecast. So I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun and laughs because of some of my facial expressions and some of my eye rolling and some of my so you guys should really like it. So again, thank you guys so much for your support. I really, really, really appreciate you. And hopefully in the next pageant, in the next Miss Universe, be it in El Salvador or for Miss Grand International in Vietnam, I hope to see you guys actually in person, because I know I've been communicating with you guys. I've been interacting with you guys on social media for quite a while now. And I really, really, really want to get to know you one-on-one in person. And I think the next time, the time we meet or the time that happens, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, it'll be out of this world, so to speak. So again, I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. And take care of yourself, be safe, and support everyone in the pageant community, be it a pageant contestant, a vlogger, a director, a producer, a writer, anybody, a fashion designer, or anybody. Okay, so thank you. Give you lots of virtual hugs and virtual kisses. So, and I shall see you the next time. So take care. Bye.